Good morning. Happy Saturday morning, everyone. So I'm thinking, today, this is what I'm thinking. Do you want to get your students a little bit more engaged, more involved in your class, kind of more into the lesson rather than kind of sitting there like bumps on a log? We've all had them. I get it. But there are lots of different ways that we can do this. But I thought today what we would talk about is that idea of student engagement, getting them involved, and for me, it's a little bit more than that. It's more like getting them to be a little creative, kind of grabbing that material and running with it rather than just sitting and listening, which is lovely. We like it when they sit and listen also. But when they sit and listen and just kind of answer some questions, you don't feel like you're really involving them, really kind of getting them going and motivated and moving. And let's face it, we got some great stuff that we're teaching, right? So we want them to get into it. So there's lots of different ways you can do this, but my suggestion is to try a couple of different things. Like I said, there's lots. But today, what I thought we could talk about are digital books, having them write a little digital book rather than answer some questions or rather than just doing a traditional test at the end of a unit. They're so easy to do, and they've got lots of different formats and templates and possibilities and, different websites that you could use to create the digital book. So there's lots of different options. So let's explore that today, and let's see what we can do or see with digital books. All right, so let me just quickly back up to say my name is Maggie Brennan. I come here every Saturday morning, depends on what time zone you're in. Today, I'm in New York. I used to live here. I love New York. It's so great to be back to see my family and friends. But I'm also not in my studio, so I've got some reflection on my glasses here today because I'm at my sister's house doing my Facebook Lives because that's what we do every week. And I come on here and I normally talk about educational technology or some pedagogy tips, just any ways that I can help teachers any way possible. Okay, so like I said, today I wanted to talk about digital books. And there are so many lovely websites that you can use or apps that you could use to have your students create digital books. You could have them use something called Storybird. That's a website. It's beautiful. It's really physically beautiful. They create lovely books, maybe a little bit more oriented towards elementary school, but it doesn't have to be. Then there's another one called Story Jumper. That's lovely. I'm going to do a whole separate live or a little blog about Story Jumper, so I won't go into that as much today. But if you want to go totally low tech, you could do a digital book on PowerPoint or on Google Slides. And when you're done creating each one of the pages, just animate them so that they create what looks like a book. You could do it that way too. But my favorite tool is the one that I will talk about the most today. It's called Book Creator. And Book Creator is both an app and a website, super easy to use, free for educators. At least there's an educational version that's totally free. And even if you're going to pay for it, it's a really reasonable price. The other thing is, I just said it's super easy to use. And I think a lot of times people confuse easy with it's only a tool for elementary school. Because, when you log on, it has a really simple, clean interface. It's just a white piece of paper and just like two little menu items. So that is, unfortunately, like I said, I think sometimes people think that means that you should use it with little kids. But that's so not the case. What it means is it doesn't need to be fancy in order to create a beautiful product. So I think there's a lot of possibilities of what you can do with Book Creator. It just like it sounds, bookcreator.com, or you can download the free app for definitely for iOS. Sorry, I didn't check if it's for Android, but I think it is too. It's been around for a really long time, and like I said, it's very easy to use. I'm not going to do a video tutorial here as to exactly, what button to press or where is the menu, because it's really that easy. But if you'd like a couple mini tutorials, they're on my website. There's a blog post all about digital books, and I've included in the blog a couple of quick little video tutorials, so you could check it out there. My website website, as you can see right here, is brennanconsulting.com, and you could get more information there about a bunch of different things, much less about a video tutorial for Book Creator. I thought what maybe we just talk about, if anybody has any questions as well, and talk about what to use it for and how to use it, not so much exactly what button to click on and stuff like that. Yeah. So, like I said, go to bookcreator.com, create an account. It's free. And then you literally just choose the size of the book that you want. They offer like square books that might be appropriate for like social media, or landscape books, which a little might be, they give you a little bit more space to write. That would be better if you're doing something more involved, like a lab report or something, that you need more page space to add more information. Or maybe it's because your kids, your students are little guys, and they want what looks like a big, traditional book. So that like a children's book. So you choose the size book that you want. There's only a few options. You log in, create an account, choose the size of the book you want, and all of a sudden they just give you a blank page, and you start to click on add. There's like a plus sign, and you click add whatever you want to add. You add text, obviously, it's a digital book. You can add text, you can add photos, you can add video, you can add little graphic elements like blocks and circles and squares and speech bubbles and that type of thing. You could add illustrations, you could add colors and backgrounds. You can decorate it as much as you want, arrows and lines. And it really, the options are endless. I know that's kind of cliche, but it's honestly the truth. The options are endless. So that's why I like it. And it's so easy to add everything. It's not complicated at all. You can, once you add something, you can make it bigger or smaller and resize it to whatever you need. So like I said, Book Creator is really easy to use. And and the other thing I forgot to mention is that not only can you create like a little different size books, but you can use their templates, and you can add, like, you can make it a comic strip rather than a book. You could make it something that looks kind of like a newspaper, that like the headlines of a newspaper and different articles down below. You can also add audio, and this I think is like one of my favorite parts about Book Creator. So that I always would have, no matter what age the student is, I would have them create the book and then narrate their own book with the audio feature. There's a little microphone, and you just click on the microphone and have the students read what is literally on the page. It's a wonderful literacy skill. And it's also nice for anybody who is reading the book to listen to you reading the book. I described in my blog how we did this at the last school that I was at. We had the older kids write a book, write a children's book, narrate the whole book, and then give the book to their little buddies in elementary school. And then those little buddies would read the book and listen while they were reading along. Especially for the early readers, like in first and second grade, to listen while they read along is a fantastic literary skill. It's a great way of bringing together the older kids and the younger kids. Plus, it's a great way for the older kids to express their knowledge, to show what they've learned, to use a little creativity. So super easy to do. And then if you want to publish it online, it literally looks like the pages are scrolling over. It's kind of like a wave to go to the next page. It's really a great tool that I think we could use a lot more often than we actually do. I don't know about you, but whenever as a student, whenever I was given like a multiple choice test or a fill in the blank test or something that I was asked very specific questions about the content, I never did well. That was so hard for me. I don't know why. You'd think it would be easier, but for me it was harder. I needed to be able to talk it through. Like if the option for a presentation was given, like a 3-minute oral presentation, I'm like, sign me up, because I always felt like I did a lot better if I could talk about it. Or if I had the option to do like a poster, to draw something, because that's just me. That's what I feel more comfortable doing. So this is kind of the same idea. Rather than a traditional test where they're asked specific questions, let them come up and show you their knowledge. Let them express it in their own way and decorate it and narrate it and announce it in their own way at their own pace. Now, so that is how Book Creator works. Maybe you're thinking, what could I use it for? Like, what kind of assignments might it be good for? Well, really anything. Anything that's written, you can now do as a digital book. So, for example, a summary of the unit that they're studying. Of course, that's the simplest way of doing it, saying, summarize what you've learned in this unit. Kind of boring, but it might be a good starting point. Or they could do a how-to book, something that they're interested, how to play soccer, how to, light a campfire, how to, speak French. I don't know, just anything that they know a lot about and that they want to share. It could be a how-to book. It could be an all about me book at the beginning of the year. You could have them describe what they like and who they are and what their family's made up of and some photos or what they did over the summer. The traditional all about me is a great digital book. Or it could be a little bit more academic. You could do a research project. You could do a lab report. And in that case, obviously they would include photos and video of their report, of their research, text on the side to explain it. And then the audio aspect wouldn't necessarily be narrating what they have on the page. It would be adding additional information to what you're seeing on the page so that the audience or the reader can read as well as listen and learn different things as well. So they could do that. They could do a book report. They could do a poetry project. They could, just about anything. And like I said, get really creative and have them create a comic or have them create a newspaper about the news or about current events. It could be a current event project as well. So there's lots of different ways, lots of different assignment ideas, as well as formats that they could create and use and express their knowledge. So I guess I've alluded to this during the whole presentation, but the big question is why? Why do I need to do this digital book project? Why can't I just do what I've always been doing? Well, honestly, I feel like anytime you allow your students to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more engaged, I think you get a better result out of their, not for both people. You get a better result in their learning and you get a better result for the class. It's more fun for you to correct rather than just reading through the essays all the time. And you are allowing them to produce something original. You're allowing them to show their creativity. You're allowing them to not only write, but to use their artistic brain, to speak, not only write. We always say there's 4 modes of communication: listening, writing, speaking, and did I say all of them? Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And a digital book would allow them to do that. So I think it's a great way to get them engaged, to get them to produce something original and creative rather than just responding to to questions on a test. So it's a great idea. I don't know. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. I think they can be wonderfully creative projects that allow them to express their learning, to express their knowledge in an original way that isn't necessarily just sitting in class, writing down some notes and responding to, just regular everyday questions. It's not a traditional idea. It's something a little bit more creative. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Please write it in the comments. Or you could take a look at my blog and find out more information about this exact same topic, and you could write it in the comments below in the blog as well. So that's my topic for today. Thanks everybody for joining me, and if you would like to continue the conversation, please feel free to reach out to me and we'll talk soon. All right? Take care, everyone. Bye.